say for the ecosystem, if you know what I mean. And that's why we're here. Power Solutions brings you those key players who are making sure that everywhere's you light up everywhere without necessarily using candles or putting on a generating set or even relying on power supply from, like we know it, NEPA. Those who have taken the initiative to bring clean energy our way, and some are just amazingly affordable. So we are here on Power Solutions each week to bring you, to remind you of the importance of this aspect of our life, and also talk to the key players and encourage them, let you know where to get what as far as renewable energy is concerned and conversations around there. Welcome, Lagos. Welcome, Nigeria. This is Power Solutions, and like you heard, it's a beautiful lady by my side. She is my co-host for this episode of the show. Before I mention her name, let me remind you that this episode, and indeed this show, is brought to you in partnership with All On Energy Investment Company. You're looking for investment in the energy sector. All On has got you covered. We have the Policy and Partnership Associates of All On. Her voice you just heard, Jadesola Rawa, joins me as a co-host. How are you today?
I'm well. Thank you very much.
You look angelic. Amazing outfit. Guys, you can check her out on social media. She's just she's a big deal.
She's a big deal, Abby. I'll take it. See, 2022 is all about taking it, so I will take my flowers. Thank you very much. She's a big deal on social media. You should check her out. Good morning, Lagos. Good morning, Nigeria. Good morning, Collins. And good morning to our guest here in the studio today. If I can do the honors this morning.
No,
okay. So this is my first in-person show. Is it my first show, even virtual, this year, 2022, right? I believe so. Yeah. So this is my first show today, and we're excited to welcome Babajide Oluwase, who's the founder and growth leader of Ecotutu. Yeah, that name is so interesting, but we're going to get to that in a minute. But, Babajide is here with us. Babajide, say hello to Lagos.
Hi, Lagos. Hi, Nigeria. It's a good morning from me to you.
Great.
Excellent.
Ecotutu.
Well,
like
it sounds like Ecotutu, or Ecotutu. There's so many ways you can say.
Echo
now.
Yes, Echo. New Echo.
Echo. No. Echo now.
I know
That's
Echo, yes.
The one
yes,
that
the white one. Yes. I know.
Exactly. So Ecotutu is like cold Echo.
Cold, tutu. Yeah, that's
tutu.
right.
This is where our localness comes up.
You have to explain this, because that's a good way to start. The name, tell us.
Exactly.
I was about thinking maybe you are bringing moi to the table.
Moi, because that we know.
Exactly.
That we know. Interestingly, I've got to answer this question a lot of times. So it's Ecotutu.
Ecotutu.
Right?
Ecotutu,
so,
okay.
We are here talking about renewable energy, talking about power and stuff. So simply put, using renewable energy to power cold storage. You see, it's not that deep.
But it's, it's kind of deep. Maybe my brain is just not.
Yeah, it is. But you need to also mention that I love the fact that there is an English and there's Yoruba, which represents your culture and people. And the tutu, of course, is cold, right?
Yeah,
fantastic.
Cold, exactly.
Yes.
So Ecotutu.
Yes.
See, it makes a lot of sense. And you started Ecotutu in 2020, right?
Yes, officially.
Officially, okay. So tell us how and the why, and why you started it.
So I would say the journey started out from doing environmental works.
Yeah.
So sensitizing and educating people about climate issues, environment, alternatives, and all those sort of things. Way back from my university days.
Yeah.
And after a while, I realized that you can't just tell people to stop doing something because it's not good for the environment. What alternative are you bringing to the table? And so in the course of this whole environmental work, I was able to see what's happening in the food value chain. The environmental side of me spotted the opportunity first. That, we could do a lot of work to reduce food waste in this space. But more importantly, it's also creating economic value, right? An average Nigerian maybe typically might not really care about saving the environment, but if you tell them about saving money, that makes a lot of sense.
We're all about that.
And that was the entry point for me, and then the other couple of people that have worked together on this.
Beautiful. If you're just joining us, I'll say it again. It's Power Solutions, brought to you by All On in partnership with Nigeria Info. And today's topic is actually themed Accelerating Food Security with Green Cooling Technologies. I'm sure you have an idea why we have the lead, growth lead and founder of Ecotutu right here with us, Babajide Oluwase. with us. I hope I'm correct with the name pronunciation, especially the second one. Yeah. But let's know a bit more about you. I hear that you're an author and a chartered environmental professional and a social entrepreneur. That's a lot. Now, give us a bit of your professional background and what you do.
Okay, I mean, I sort of gave a tip about it earlier. So I have a background in urban and regional planning.
Okay.
And I think that was one of those things that gave private info to works around environment and climate issues, and realizing how much sensitization this thing needs to happen, particularly for younger generations, right, that are still at their formative stage. And in the course of doing this awareness program, I saw the need for us to be able to step down the knowledge in the way that younger people can understand. And if you don't understand something, you don't even know how to take action about it.
That's right.
And that was what informed creating something like using stories and cartoons to talk about climate change.
Okay.
And now like using the superhero narrative for kids.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
So at the end of the book, you see the part where they pledge and say, so my name is this, and I'm pledging to do this and this for the environment. So I would say, so this is Babajide's pledge on how he wants to save the environment, and now he's putting the old talk into work with Ecotutu.
And so it's kind of like also you're growing the younger generation to buy into the idea of saving the environment with the book.
Exactly. I mean, we need an army of people for us to be able to drive this conversation. It is when you understand the importance of why we need to even do this that you can start thinking about ways around whether you want to use business as a force in that space, leverage technology, or even keep sensitizing more people about it.
Beautiful.
Excellent.
Really beautiful.
Okay, so to the meat of the conversation itself, right? So Ecotutu, obviously this is a product, correct?
Yep.
Great. So now, and this product is built around using the ecosystem to kind of cool stuff, right? So let me take you to the question. So the question is, just a bit of statistics says that we have about 45% of food spoilage, mainly due to lack of access to affordable cold storage in developing countries, and of course Nigeria belongs to that category. So how far has Ecotutu been able to solve this problem, especially in Lagos? So maybe before you take that, just tell us a bit about this product, how it's designed, and then how it then goes on to do the work of negating the statistics.
Okay, so at Ecotutu we have 3 different product lines currently. So we have the Ecotutu Hub, which is a solar-powered cold rooms.
Okay.
We have the Fresh Box, which is the mobile cooling box that you can refit on motorbikes.
Okay.
And then we have the Shopper, the Shopper bags. So these are like insulated bags for you to do your grocery shopping.
Let me stop you there. Quick question. So your hub, what's the size of your hub? And maybe who does that? Who's your target market with the hub?
Okay, so for the hub, so we have 2 custom sizes. So we have the one for 2-ton capacity and one for 3.5-ton capacity.
Okay.
And so the target for that are businesses within the value chain. So we do more of a business-to-business model. Okay. Where we set up. So we have 2 models to drive that. First is we set up in clusters that we've been able to get an understanding in terms of what their input looks like, and then they access the service on a subscription basis.
Okay.
That's one. Then the second one is for those that can afford it. They reach out to us and say, okay, Ecotutu, I want you to help me deploy this same system on my facility. So that's how we get to target customers with that.
Wow, interesting indeed. Very interesting. And I'm really inspired just hearing just a bit about what you're doing, how you started. And trust me, it's quite inspirational. Sometimes we get carried away with the popular those who are so-called popular figures in the space, and we forget that there are a lot of people who are doing great stuff. Great work, and they don't necessarily have to be in your faces, but they're doing a great job, and this is quite inspiring.
Thank you.
Yeah, very, very. Okay, wow. So, boy, in the big picture of things, right, how can renewable energy help solve food security in Nigeria?
So in the big picture, renewable energy has like a very key role to play. We are talking about cold chain. It starts from the point of harvest till it gets to the doorstep of final consumers. That way, most of these communities, most of these centers where this food are being produced are not connected to the electricity grid, right? And cold chain as it is a network.
Yeah.
Right. So I mean, from production till it gets to your doorstep as final consumer, it has to be ensured, right? And for us to be able to ensure this from, say, like the very rural community where food is being produced,
Yeah.
till it gets to your doorstep, renewable energy plays key role in that regard. I mean, in terms of long-term socio-economic impact, it makes more sense for one to look in that direction.
Yeah.
And I mean, the world is looking at what is better for the environment, what is better for everyone, right? And renewable energy is also at the very center stage of that conversation. So if we're talking food security, I mean, be it for storage or any other arm of food production, I mean, renewable energy is the way for us. Yeah.
Okay.
Agree.
I'm going to take you back to the question, that I asked before, because I'm kind of fascinated by the things that I don't know, and anything that has to do with technology is not my thing. So you talked about the different products that you have. So you talked about the hub, and then you talked about the box, and then you talked about the shopper bag. Exactly. So what's the technology behind? How does it work?
Good.
I'm like super curious to know, because I mean, I know I've seen those imported shopper bags where you keep your things cool. Maybe if you go to grocery shopping, and then they keep your things cool. And I know they're insulated, but outside of the insulation, I have no clue what's going on there. So what's going on in the box? What's going on with the bags? What's going on with the hub itself?
Okay, so starting from the hub, so one thing that sort of stands Ecotutu apart now is we don't heavily rely on batteries, right, to power the system.
Okay.
I mean, the system gets to make ice on its own within the chamber. I mean, if I thought you want to integrate battery, maybe one or two just for backup, right?
Yeah.
Wow.
But the system operation is not dependent on that particular on battery process you have it out there. So that's one. For the fresh box, right? So I mean, it's a combination of different materials, right? Which is very much proprietary to Ecotutu.
Oh, okay. So for that means it's not gonna share. For
Which
those
is
of us that waited to
come and buy. So there's this guy embedded within the box, which is called the iCell, also proprietary to us. All you have to do with the iCell, so iCell, like I mean battery, right?
Yeah.
Ice. All you have to do to recharge the battery, the iCell in this case, is put in your freezer, you have it frozen. Then you just tuck into your fresh box and helps you undo the delivery for the entire day. You're done with it, just get out this guy from the box, input it back into the freezer to recharge it for the next day. Same way the shopper bag works. So shopper bag also has like a combination of different materials that of course helps in retaining the required temperature within the box. And there's also pouch as well for iCell for you to be able to move your sensitive items around.
Okay.
Wow.
So I'm gonna let Collins take the next question, but as a consumer, I'm just gonna ask. So like the bag, for instance, if I as an average Joe off the street could buy a bag and say, I'm just gonna have this for my personal use, does that work like that?
Well,
not really.
The main model is B2B, right? But
B2B, okay.
maybe if you can team up with like community of like minds, like I think, guys, let's go and buy 5,000 pieces or 500 pieces.
On that note, I will let Collins handle the next question.
Okay, well, before we get into it, let's you still talking about buying. But what's the cost like? Is it how cost effective is it? If someone wants to buy, for example, just give an idea.
Okay, so starting with the hub.
Yeah.
So depending on the size, I mean, the typical size that we have now ranges from 10 to 20 million.
Okay.
Outright deployments.
Okay.
For the case where we have managed service for the hub, so they pay as little as 250 per crate of produce per day.
Okay.
Right. For the fresh box, so for outright deployment, so we typically would do minimum maybe 10 and above. So outright deployment for that is 50,000.
Okay.
For shopper bag, so we also have two sizes for that. So between 12 and 18,000 naira.
Wow, quite affordable if you ask me. Really sounding affordable. So let's move on to the next question. So you have serviced about 50 plus businesses so far.
Yep.
Any major milestone you want to share with us today, like testimonials? Because I mean, people are listening right now. That's how I've asked the price. I've asked you mention the price. A lot of people are listening. Okay, I'm considering this. It's healthy. It's great. But hey, sell your market. Tell us about some of the.
Sell your market. Yes. I love it.
Tell us about some of the testimonials.
So I'll start from the point of. So we delivered a ordered goods from a customer too, particularly in the pharmaceutical space. I mean, we were focused on the food, but I mean, these pharma guys are really chasing us at the beginning of the year.
That's true.
To move vaccines and stuff around.
Yeah.
Okay.
And we got into that deal like last week of December. We delivered on that second week of January.
Wow.
Interestingly, we've gotten 2 referrals from just that particular customer.
Wow.
Why? Because she got, I mean, it's a big player in the pharmaceutical space in Lagos. Why? Because they got the value for what they paid for. Right? And these other guys, I mean, interesting, they said they need to come down to the office and see what we're doing and see what more we can do together.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, so that is just like the very recent one. Other ones that we've had before now, I mean, businesses have to speak about how hard is it for them to be able to move their core-sensitive items around. Like typically for those that want to do like the mobile, maybe not too big items, ice blocks and all of those things. Again, they are concerned that it gets to mess up whatever they want to move. Because I mean, ice block turns to water within the closed box.
And with this Lagos, and with the Lagos,
the sun,
and all that. So
the noise alone can generate heat. Just saying.
So interestingly, I mean, for last year alone, I mean, some of these companies that we serve, I mean, 2 of them really got into major milestones in terms of raise and in terms of customer reach.
Okay.
And it's something that we are really happy to be part of that journey for them.
So, I mean, based on what you're saying now, I mean, this just looks like nothing but growth, projection for you guys.
I mean, it's growth and growth and growth.
And
really.
growth and nice.
Interesting.
Okay, so who are your other partners? Do you do this by yourself? Do you have partners? And then, a question that is typical around this part is, do you get any kind of support from the government? Do you have any kind of government engagement, support? Tell us a little bit about that.
So speaking about partnership, we've been able to lock down more partnership in the area of like business development angle, right? I mean, learning through the curves of how to do what when you meet this challenge, how to deal around it. I mean, we got the support from Orange Corners Nigeria, funded by the Kingdom of the Netherlands. That program. Also, We for Good Foundation. Also, we also got some even financial support from them, as well as IHS. And then currently we are into one accelerator by the EI Climate Kick. It's a European Union funded program, right? So that speaks more into the leg of the business development arm of what we do. From the technical side, we currently have an ongoing partnership discussion with a potential partner from Germany that can also help us optimize on our system and be able to even bring down costs lower. We want to double down on this for this year. And so, I mean, we are very much open to explore more partnership with stakeholders in the solar system space. I mean, PV to be specific, solar PV to be specific, as well as in terms of customer reach. I mean, partnership that could give us access to even more customers or more businesses to serve are things that we're looking to double down for the year.
All right. Do you have many people like, Ecotutu in the sector? And how would you describe the ease of doing business, this kind of business, quickly?
Well, so in terms of the ease of doing it, so particularly I'll speak to things that are even affecting us now. I mean, around FX issues, for example. I mean, on the news you hear that, the CBN has done this, you can now do this and that. When you get to the real world, I mean, it gets to be a different ball game.
You realize.
I mean, some of those rates still remain.
Some of those
CBN rates still remains. But then now for us to be able to push it takes about 5 to 6 weeks. For this payment to even move from here to drop to this other side.
Wow.
Right? And these are things that are like really timely, you need to really move fast on. And so you don't have trades and just to go to black market route. So ease of doing business.
It's really tough.
I don't want to say in the mud, but ease of doing business really. So I mean, what's supposed to be like the margin for us to even still want to remain in this space and keep giving this value and making money and all that is now going into all of this black market part that we don't get to even figure out in our books. I mean, that is very, very, and in the other leg of where we have like fleets moving on the road, man, like it's multiple taxation, right? I mean, you get to this point, you say you didn't have this particular sticker, you didn't have this particular paperwork, and then you can't even define who this person is representing for what. Time is also of the essence for you need to deliver some items for your customers. So you just want to clear those things and move. It's making the cost of running the business so expensive.
Wow.
I mean, off of what you've just said, I'm going to ask you, do you also operate outside of Lagos, or is Lagos the only space that you operate in at the moment? And then if you do, or if you don't, what are your plans to expand, across Nigeria? Because, I mean, what the services that you're providing is needed all across Nigeria, I would reckon. So that's, maybe answer that first.
Okay, so for the Ecotutu up currently, it's basically outside Lagos.
Okay.
So we have in Ogun State, we have in Edo State, one is already coming up also in Oyo State.
Okay.
Fresh Box like took off from Lagos. I mean, Lagos is where you need to move things like quickly, faster, and all that. So, Fresh Bus is still working within Lagos. I mean, we are very much open as well to see what other cities looks like for that particular people. But for Ecotutu Hub, I mean, we are very much open to also expanding on that as we grow in capacity and as well as in resources. Yes. Across Nigeria and interestingly even to other African countries.
Yes.
You talked a bit about your focus for 2022 in one of your submissions in of the questions. I wanted to tell us a bit more about that, your focus for this year. And also, if someone who's listening now would like to contact you, perhaps do business with you, support you, or, inquire more, how can they connect with Ecotutu?
Okay, so before I say how they can connect with us, so one of the major goals for us, we want to increase the customer that we serve from 50 businesses now to over 200 businesses.
Okay.
And the 2022 target.
Yes,
okay.
I mean, and that cut across a different product line.
Okay.
Right? I mean, so anyone that now wants to reach out to us to see how they can be part of this, I mean, you can look us up. Ecotutu on Google will give you leads to a lot of information about us. We have our office also at Ojodu Berger in Lagos here. And then phone number is 081 36 38 9666. Again, 081 36 38 9666. They can do a mail as well to info@ecotutu.com.
Ecotutu spelled as pronounced. The Eco
Ecotutu.
Before you go and spell Ecotutu.
Exactly.
I hope someone don't do TWO.
It's TU people.
TU, yeah.
It's TU. Well, it's been fun having you on the show today. Time is fast spent. I don't know if Jade has got any question to ask, but it seems you are this man is making money.
Just literally going to say that, dude. When
you can't just come here and be wearing simple shirt. Do not make us.
Your Bible say he's using simple shirt to cover up hello, like you see, I'm like you don't know what.
So we should come out eye. I mean,
all these people, all these tech type people making all this plenty money. Very simple jeans, t-shirts. You know what's going on. Me and you'll be wearing suit and tie.
Be forming. Anyway.
I understand what is happening here.
What's happening?
So the plan is that so that when Jide is about to leave the studio, you won't come and build Teke and Jaja. Please give me money. So I was saying, they already say I'm a big man. Don't let me go and form my
hand. Leave that thing. We already see that you're a big man. I think my last question to you would be, you are one of the people that came out of the All on NCIC program.
Yeah.
I think it was a couple of years ago, maybe like 3 years ago now.
Yeah,
2019. Okay, so tell us a bit about, what that did for you and what it can potentially do for any business that is in the space you were in 2019 and what they could benefit from it.
Yeah, so first point, I'll say it gave us some publicity a bit about our work. I mean, when I get to meet major players in this piece, right, and I just get to introduce myself and the brand, I'm like, oh, I've heard about it at so and so place, right? And that makes me feel like, okay, we're actually doing something serious for the big men already established in that space who say they heard about us. That's one. The secondly, it's about, I mean, what Ecotutu has grown to be today. As we can't take away the foundation that we got from the NCIC incubation training in terms of, I mean, how do you even get to position your business for growth? What are the basic things that you need to know? How do you structure, right? So that foundational knowledge also has been pivotal to what we've achieved till date.
Excellent. And that was powered by Olon, proud to say.
And then I'm coming back to Olon.
You're coming back to Olon. We'll be more than happy to welcome you. Like, what can I say? We're very open. This is what we do. Like our main objective is to give a leg up to businesses like yours, that need funding and that, just pretty much need all of the support that they can to get to the next level. So yes, please, you're more than welcome.
Yeah. I mean, I've been on this side of with Jade and the colleagues for about 3 years now. But I could say that you have great plans, fantastic services and products. I'll just advise and show that you're friends with the media so that you can be more visible. And good luck with your target of the year.
Thank you.
Well, maybe we'll have him back in 2023 to talk about
by that time. By that time, I hope you'll be ready not to whine us.
No, by that time, we'll be ready to simple shirt anymore. We'll be like, Thank you very much for having me today, Collins.
Yeah, it's a pleasure to always have you by my side. Even though, anyway, let's leave that. Let's leave that off the mic.
Let's not say that one.
Let's leave that off the mic. But thank you very much to our guest. It's been fun having you, Babajide Oluwase.
Oluwase.
All right. Founder, Ecotutu. And you heard about the company. And we've talked about accelerating food security with green cooling technology. Jadesola Rawa has been my co-host. She is the Policy and Partnership Associate of All On. That's it for the show. What are you waiting for? My name is Collins Teke. Let's do this again next week. Bye for now.
Bye. Thank you, Lagos.